Acting on fantasies. Over 90% of men fantasize about people they meet in real life. Often a strong desire to be with another person is enough of a motivation to actually act on those desires. Men who maintain strong fantasies are more likely to cheat if the opportunity presents itself. A good friend of mine told me that some people are only as loyal as their options. This sounds a lot like that. Sometimes it may feel as though it's empowering to act on something that you know you're not supposed to do. The motivation may not change, but the forbidden act ends up feeling as if they're doing what they want to do. Number 5, seeking a different version of oneself. A lot of times we think of infidelity as a conflict between two people, between partners. Rarely do we ever stop to think of it as a conflict within ourselves. Most individuals in long-term relationships attest to a strong intimacy, connection, and genuine love for their partners, painting a profile of a faithful relationship. It is not necessarily in their nature to cheat. And even still, it's not a surefire formula for loyalty. Sometimes it's not really about the partner. It's the individual's desire to be more adventurous or to take more risks or to have more experiences. Simply wanting to prove to themselves that once and for all they can actually be an adventurous person may be enough to drive someone to have an unfaithful encounter outside of their relationship. There's a great quote from Charles J. Orlando where he says, "They didn't cheat because of who you are, they cheated because of who they are not." Number 6 is narcissistic tendencies. Some will find themselves in a relationship with a narcissist. Narcissists are egotistic, arrogant, and attention-seeking sociopaths. They are frequently found at the center of many incidents of physical and or emotional infidelity. In 2006, psychologist Joshua Foster looked into how narcissists operate inside of intimate relationships. People with narcissistic personalities practice what they call unrestricted sociosexuality. They do not associate a sexual act as an exclusive intimacy, but instead see it as only a means of self-gratification. They practice a level of self-entitlement that is extremely damaging for any well-meaning relationship. And if his findings are accurate, our society is just teeming with narcissists, because I've heard tons of stories from friends who've been involved with people exactly like this.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the In the Zone podcast. It is your boy, B. Foster. Brian Foster's in the building. I am excited about this one. I got many a text, I got many a message about they not gonna tell the truth. I can't even believe you having this conversation. Black men don't cheat, and I agree. Black men don't cheat unless forced.
Except
usually.
today.
I don't know.
So anyway, thank you all for joining us. Happy Wednesday. Hope you all are doing well. Chantel, how you doing today, babe? She's stuttering. People.
I can't even express myself. I have so many emotions and so many questions.
We'll see how.
But I'm ready. Let's go.
We'll see how your emotions run once we get into the conversation. Let me introduce.
I'm nervous.
No, don't be nervous.
You should absolutely
Don't be nervous.
I
Don't be
know who
nervous.
this one is right here. This ain't my first rodeo.
Let me introduce my guest so we can get right into it. I don't want to play no games today. On my immediate right, your left, my boy, my man 50 Grand, one of my oldest and dearest. He's been on the show a few times. Y'all love him. You love him. My boy Bamik. What's happening, boy?
What's up, player? How you doing, man?
Man, we good.
Hey, that's what's up.
You ready to dive in this?
I feel like I'm gonna put some information out in the world that most folk don't know, but at the same time, it's gonna be nice.
And FYI, they're all drunk.
No,
Nobody's
that is
drunk.
not true.
So the furthest.
Juan hasn't even had a drink.
Sorry.
Thank you.
This one's
I've had
one.
drinks, but I'm not drunk.
I've had
Yes.
an adult
Beverage.
attitude adjustment hour.
Okay, let me say it
after work.
differently. They've all been lubricated, so this should be a
Except me.
fantastic
Except
conversation.
one.
Well, it
So-
depends on what part.
So that's
you're
why it's
talking
gonna
about.
be
Lubricate.
fun.
We are,
I know
anyway,
the sober one.
next.
And on my immediate left, my brother, my family. I've known him long as he's been alive, and he's known me most of my life. My guy Tremaine. What's happening, brother?
Hey, Famo, what's good, my brother?
Good. Good to have you back on the show, baby.
Hey, it's been a minute, but
It's been a minute.
always happy to be here with the lovely people of the cast. You know, I got my good buddy right there, family. Might as well be family. And my
lovely.
new friend right here. So you know, we gonna make it happen. we're gonna get into this. Probably say a lot of crazy things. So
I ain't saying nothing crazy. I'm only saying.
actually, he'll be the first one to say something crazy.
I
Only
agree.
popping facts.
He'll be the first one.
Facts.
Only
So yeah, let's get it cracking.
Let's get it. And then on my far left, a in the zone virgin.
We like a virgin.
We
on
love
this
it like a virgin.
Uh-oh.
We are popping his in the zone cherry, but he is a long-time viewer. Appreciate his continued support and happy to have him on for the first time. My frat, my boy Dwan. What's happening, baby?
Hey, how you doing today, brother?
I'm good, my man. You ready to dive into this?
I'm ready. Let's go.
This is the show you want to pop your ITZ Jerry
Yeah, I
on?
guess so. When my frat asked me to come, hey, you know how it go?
That's right.
We support
Hey,
each
y'all.
other.
We put the signal out there, baby. Hey, yeah. All right, so let's get right into it. Let's not even play no games. So anybody that does not know, that is tuning in, that did not read the header, we are talking about why married men step out and why they get divorced. So I will lead this off by saying that everybody's circumstances are their individual circumstances. Why one person reacted one way does not mean that's why everybody reacts this way. But we are going to lay out some of the basics and some of the individual perspectives of these gentlemen that probably blanket more men than we care to admit. So, fellas, I hope you got your popcorn. Ladies, I hope you got your notepads. We about to dive into
No
it.
notepads. No contiguous
Notepads,
notes.
so you can take some notes,
No contiguous notes.
so you can learn some shits.
Uh-oh.
All right, let's get into it. So, bam. Oh, and I also preface all of the gentlemen up here, including myself, have been divorced. So we are going to speak on that a little bit, and I want to lead in with that. Bam.
Yes, sir.
Why did you get divorced, and did your sex life play a part in that?
Oh, the second part of the question is what I'm thinking about.
I'm sure it is.
I was gonna say you don't remember why you got divorced.
Oh no, I know I got divorced.
Come
I
on,
fucked up.
start
I just
there.
fucked up.
Okay.
Me and my wife were estranged, and I was living in Vegas. She was living in Michigan at the time. So we were not together. And when I had the job in Vegas, it was somebody who caught my eye. Real talk. So the thing is, while I was there, that popped off, but at the same time, she knew that I was married. And then once my wife came to Vegas, after a couple of months, that's when the shit hit the fan. So I just fucked up. I mean, I own that. That's me. I fucked up. But sex had nothing to do with it. It was really just distance for me.
Fair.
I
Fair.
gotta wait before we move on. I just gotta ask.
Go ahead. Look,
Why?
I didn't even get around the circle before she
No,
jumped in.
I'm sorry. This question, I know people are sitting there. When your wife came to Vegas, why didn't you cut it off?
Because I was already in it.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a fair statement. That's a very
Explain to
very
me
fair
how
statement.
that's fair.
Because even though he was in an extramarital affair,
Mm-hmm.
fair, I know that's a red flag, but he had an emotional attachment with this other lady, and sometimes it's hard, even though it's not necessarily point A, to break off that emotional attachment. Even, I'm not saying that's what's happening in Bam's case, but
He's gonna have a hard time
So he's
at this angle.
yeah.
you got it.
Okay.
I was gonna say,
yeah,
it's probably gonna be
swap
better.
off.
There you go.
Yeah. so-
Teamwork makes the dream work.
all the time. So, when you have that, again, once you have that emotional attachment, it might be hard to break away from it. It could be, to break it down to the barest essence, it could be a purely physical thing as well. I don't know what that man's situation is, but his statement is fair. He was in it.
Well, let Bam talk for herself, because I'm with you.
Come on, Bam.
I'm with you.
Oh,
I'm
my-
with
my
you.
bad,
I'm
Chris,
with you.
brother.
No. You're right. But at the same time, the thing that happened was when my wife moved out to Vegas with me, it wasn't, I was deeply into this relationship
With the other woman?
with the other
Okay.
woman. And so the thing is,
Ain't that what he just said though?
Pretty
No.
much.
What I'm saying is it's not so easy just to be walking away from it. It's really about, hey, I have two people now that I'm worried about hurting feelings, but at the same time I'm married to one. And when she moved out there, she already knew it had been a couple of months since we had been together. So it's not about physicality at that point. It's really about, hey, And I worked with a woman who I was actually having the affair with.
Oh,
That's another layer.
That's another layer. I'm not going. I got so many questions. I'm not gonna do it. Look.
So, throwing that in the mix, I gotta go and see this woman every day.
I get it. They're dumping her, and I get it. I get it.
So it's not so easy to be like, oh, yeah, you know what? My wife just moved back into town. My wife was moving into town. You already knew I was married. So what are we gonna do? No, it's not that easy.
Okay, look, I get it. I had to pose the question because I know it was on somebody's mind who's watching this show.
That's why I gave you the real answer.
I appreciate it. Okay. All right, we're gonna go with the virgin now. Jawan, correct?
Jawan.
Man, I'm gonna be messing up names. I'm sorry.
So, sort of like his, yes and no. Me and my wife were separated too before we got divorced, and I had started seeing somebody like 14 years younger. So now we talking young, you know.
You out here R-killing these little girls.
Man, she was in her 20s, brother.
He made it make it
She was in her 20s.
Bro.
She was in her mid-20s.
Bro, don't put that on me. We are not doing the R. Kelly thing.
She was in her mid-20s.
They don't fuck around.
But
She
14
wasn't
years
down.
is
We
a lot
on
of
air
years.
now.
Right.
14 years is
My bad,
a
my
lot of
bad.
years.
That's on me. That's on me. I own that one. That's
Yeah, we on there. She was in her mid-20s. So, funny thing is, my wife wanted to reconcile. So I had a place on the south suburbs, and I had a loft in the city.
Bowling.
I'm like,
And I had broke it off with the young lady because the wife wanted to reconcile.
Okay.
So the funny thing about it is, so the building that I had the loft in was family owned. So I had a cousin across the hall from me.
Gotcha.
One upstairs. One across the hall was wilding. He our age, but revolving door women. You know what I'm saying? So he was throwing a birthday party for the main chick.
I got you.
At the law. And I told the wife, I said, man, I'm gonna stay in the city. So I'm gonna stay in the city, and hang out at my boys' party. Shouldn't have did that. Shouldn't have did, because she's blowing me up. The wife blowing me up. When you coming home? I want you to come home, yada yada. So my girl, the young girl that I was messing around with, was friends with his girl.
Got you.
So she came to the party.
Of course you did.
Yeah, she came to the party. She got sloppy drunk.
Did she know you were married?
Yeah, she knew I was
Okay.
married. But I mean, we had
They
really had
usually
broke it
know
off.
when
We
you're
had broke it
married.
off.
I just some people tell, some people don't. I just
No, I told her. Yeah,
That's a clarity
we had broke
5
off.
point. I got you.
So she got sloppy drunk. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, man, I can't let you drive home because she lived in the south suburbs.
Gotcha.
So I can't let you drive home. Stay at the loft. Stupid mistake. So look at so I'm like,
So wait a minute, where you
so
going with
so
that?
I already know where this is going.
yeah, so you already know where it's
good,
going.
though.
So fast forward to a couple hours later, she gets up. She went to the bathroom, went out the front. She's looking out the front window. She said, "Hey, it's somebody sitting in a silver BMW, looking up into the window." I'm like, "Oh, I'm thinking it's my cousin, one of his women." You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I ain't thinking nothing of it. Get up, and I hear a key at the door.
that ain't never good.
It was the wife. So she come in. Oh, girl, and had no clothes on. She gets the throwing stuff and went ballistic.
you correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Just
went
making
ballistic
sure,
on
because
me.
sometimes the women they
No.
be
She went
misdirected.
ballistic on me. She went ballistic on me.
Good job, ex-wife.
Yeah, she went ballistic. So.
Hey, I ain't
It wasn't nothing I could say, man. It wasn't nothing I could say at that point. My cousin comes out. This is the funny part. He said, "I know your wife was mad when she saw that young girl come out. Just she was butt ass naked."
So Kiana asked a very interesting question I didn't think about. Just digging into what you said. She said, "Why he keeps saying the wife wanted to reconcile? He didn't."
Oh yeah, yeah. That's why I broke it off. I did
Okay.
want to reconcile.
Okay.
Want to reconcile. The long and short is, our issue was my kid's mother. So I had children with somebody else before I got married.
Gotcha.
Before I got married. So I'm maintaining 2 households. So and they didn't get along. So my kid's mother gave her hell. So she was just sort of fed up at that point.
Yeah. So there was already a divide there.
Yeah, it was
from
divide.
another woman,
From
and then she
another woman.
comes in and sees another woman,
Right. And the funny thing is, I wasn't fucking.
I was
my kid's
just about
mother.
to ask.
I wasn't fucking my
That-
kid's
that-
mother.
Wait. Had you had sex with the young lady that night that she showed up at your apartment? The wife.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. All right.
Yeah.
She was naked. What the fuck?
No. He said she was sloppy drunk, so she might have thrown up or whatever.
He might have threw up on a
Dress.
dress.
right.
We can't say that. They don't get
That's
the
all right. We
They don't get the joke, right?
We get it.
Yeah.
So I asked that specifically because
Yeah, she was.
if
She was.
okay, I got it. So if at that moment he was being a good guy and was just taken care of and nothing sexual had happened, that would be the worst way to get caught up. But in that moment, I wasn't on shit.
But it tipped over.
No,
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Does it matter? To
Go
us,
ahead.
it does.
Yeah, so what you
Right.
got?
It does to
I
us.
will agree with Brian.
It does to us.
Fine.
Say it.
Argue
No,
that
say
bit
it.
of
Say it.
nuance.
Say
I'm
it.
just.
You can try to argue.
I'm
that
not
nuance,
arguing it. I'm just telling you how
But if
we
I
feel.
walk in the crib, if I walk in the crib,
Yes.
But it was a play crib. It
and
wasn't a real
Tony's
crib.
standing there with a naked bitch,
Yeah.
whatever the fuck he has to say at that point is
Doesn't matter.
It's irrelevant, right?
Yeah,
It's irrelevant.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying you
Ass.
misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you're supposed to forgive it or understand my story or even
I get
believe my
what you're saying,
story.
Fred. I get
What
what
I'm
you're
saying
saying.
is,
Yeah.
that important.
this night I didn't even touch her because I was trying.
Let's not count
But
the
can we?
other
But can we add?
364
Can we add
times
the
I did.
caveat of it was not the familiar home? It was the play crib.
that
I'm
she
not
clearly
saying.
has been to?
I'm not saying.
Well, she
it
knew
make
I
it
had
better.
her.
Because
She
she's
knew
been
I
there
had.
She had
keys.
keys.
She had keys.
She had keys.
She know. She know. I had.
So-
She know. She
That is a
know.
little bit different than your main residence. But
But she ain't. They ain't.
anyway, we're not.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, all right, we're not even gonna do
Y'all
that.
arguing like these points.
I'm not
that
saying-
they literally
I did not live there.
There you
Right.
go.
Right.
Yeah, I
See
got
what
you.
I'm saying?
I
That,
got
that was
you.
the
I got
home
you.
away
It's
from
less
home.
disrespectful, is what we're saying.
Ladies, please note all these points that ain't got shit to do with shit that they are
I'm just
trying
saying.
to latch onto.
Anyway,
That's all I
Tremaine.
can say.
Yes, sir.
And so
Oh, you thinking? That's
no.
not me.
I'm. So you were married
Yes.
twice.
Yes.
Tell me your story. How did these things fall apart?
Well, to be honest, like my brother over there, the first time I fucked up, no doubt. That was all on me. I got married. In my mind, I think I got married too soon to a great girl. Gave me beautiful twins. Love her. We mad cool. She might be watching. Hey, what's happening? And that was on me. That was on me. The second time, that shit wasn't my fault. That wasn't my fault.
The second time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Twice.
Oh wow.
Elaborate.
No, my second wife wanted to be her children's friend versus being their mother. And it caused a rift in the house, compounded on some other issues that were going on in the house between my children, their children. And it just wasn't a conducive environment. And at that point in my life, I was dealing with some things, and it was I'm not going to say a bad decision, but it wasn't a smart decision for Tremaine. I was making that decision based off of impulse more so than being logical.
Right.
The first time was logical as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
You know that.
Mhm.
You know my story. You kind of sort of know because.
But the people watching don't know your story. But
True
we're not
that,
going to get into all them
But we didn't got to dive
We
into all that.
ain't
but, yeah.
going on. However, but yeah, so I own the first one. That was on me. Second one, hell no.
So let me ask this, and I want to specify this because I asked Bam a specific question. So I want to, because this is a big premise of the show. I think a lot of women are going to think this at least. Did sex have any part, your sexual relationship with your former wives, for the reason you either A, stepped out or B, divorced?
Did it have any part? I don't want to put a percentage on it per se, but in the first one,
It played a part.
it played a part.
Okay.
It did. The second one, nope, not at all. Not saying that any one is better than the other.
Yeah, we just
You know,
leaving facts here.
they both great women.
Yeah.
Still love them all. Have great relationships with
It's
them
all
both.
pink.
Huh?
It's all pink.
Shut your ass up. No, we're not. This is no judgment or shame on
Right.
anybody. I'm from how you felt.
Yeah, no. I mean, like I said, it had a part. I can't quantify how much of a part, but it was a part.
But it played a part.
It did play a part. And like I said, compound on the fact that, sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
Compound on the fact that, you know, we grew up, if you don't have it together by the time you're 30, you'll never get it together. You know.
You're talking about something else that's coming from way back in our...
Right. That was, you know, growing up, our mothers put that in our brain. You don't get together until by 30, you know. And we might not have been ready to get together by the time we was 30.
I didn't get
Still
married
figuring it
till
out.
I was...
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Every day is a learning
Fair.
experience.
Absolutely.
So, and with that, and always implanted in the back of your head, you got a good girl, you're doing great, got a great relationship. You're like, well, shit, fuck it.
Yeah.
And then you get married, and then you have 2 beautiful kids, and then it's like,
Then it's reality.
then it's adulting,
that's
then
right.
it's big
That's
time
the real
adulting, and then you like, what the fuck?
Right, what did I
end
sign
up
up for?
into?
Yeah, it's
Like,
different.
Yeah,
It gets
so-
different. Hold on, I want to bring you back in there. Did
That
So
was
you-
the nail in the coffin. That was the nail in the coffin.
sex was the nail in the coffin?
Yeah, sex was the nail in the coffin.
When you all say sex, well, with
So
you,
me
not
having
you.
me having sex outside of my marriage was the nail in the coffin. When
I don't
she
think
called
that's
No,
what
no,
you're-
no,
that's
no,
not
no,
his
no, no. I
question.
get that. For you,
Uh-huh.
how big of your sexual relationship with your wife was the reason for the separation in the first place?
Oh, no.
Did it play any part
No,
for you at all?
None whatsoever.
Okay.
That was my soulmate.
Okay. Wow.
Okay, so then I'm gonna ask you this question.
That-
When you say sex had a part, you didn't say 100%, you didn't put a percentage on it, but it had a part. What does that mean? What are we saying here? Was it that you all weren't compatible? Are you saying that she withheld? Like, what does that mean? And if it's that's too nosy, say none of your goddamn
That's why we
business.
here
keep
tonight.
moving.
No.
That's why we're here tonight.
Ain't nobody saying no names.
Okay, I'm just
So,
I
yeah.
I know I can ask.
They
them
gonna
that
start
question.
Googling you.
I know my
You
wife
Google
ain't
away.
watching.
Shut up,
My
man.
ex-wife. My ex-wife ain't watching.
But
But my new wife might be
I
watching.
think, you know, when I'm sorry,
Damn.
this dude,
We gonna come back to him
This
soon.
dude-
We got a lot of shit to say.
Right.
Go ahead, Trey.
them side comments is the mother. But anywho, yeah,
My phone went off.
I gotta get my train of thought back. I would say when we were dating, things were at a certain level.
Lead me right to my next question.
Things were at a certain level, and
Let's see what
I
you
think once we got married, it kind of fell into that whole old school Eddie Murphy joke. Oh, you married? Some things gonna change. You only get head on your birthday and Christmas, you know,
That's a
dumb
lot.
shit like that. I'm not saying that as a literal thing. That's
We know that
not a
wasn't y'all's
literal
story.
thing.
That
This
was
is
my
his.
story.
This
That's
is
wait,
man's
and
story.
it's definitely not a literal thing in the event of she watching. That's not what I said. I was just making a joke.
You're gonna get a text in them.
As I look down, at my phone, like,
We all
Okay, I'm
got
good.
Our phones,
She ain't
right?
getting
I'm
no
like,
ring.
all right, I'm
She
good.
ain't
Maybe-
getting no ring if that's.
I'm like, maybe she's not watching. Thank God I didn't tell the kids I was going to be on tonight. But yeah, the once we got married, things changed. For just to be
Fair.
point blank and to the point, we got comfortable with each other. We fell into the normal rigmarole of, you know, you get up, you go to work, you take care of the kids, the whole adulting lifestyle that many couples unfortunately fall into.
Okay.
Let me ask this. Tremaine, you led me right to my next question, actually. Did you all find that after marriage, or let me rephrase the question. Did you find that marriage hindered your sex life with your partner?
No.
Okay, D, you jump right in.
Man, like I told you, my wife and my sex was my soulmate. So
Okay.
compatible, like across the board.
You're not married right now, are you?
No.
Okay, I just
no,
making
no,
sure
no,
your
no.
new wife and
I
your
am
motherfucking human like
I am
this.
seeing somebody though, but the honest.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Kim,
she watching.
Rebecca, Mary, whatever
yeah,
your name is.
She probably is watching it, but she was my soulmate. Sex was incredible, incredible.
And remained incredible after marriage?
I'm talking about but I'm
Okay.
saying she was the one. Felt like the earth was moving.
Okay.
It was. We had that connection.
And there was no shift after marriage?
No shift out.
Did you all have kids together?
No, but I met
You
her
had-
when her daughter was 5.
Okay.
I got 2 kids.
You all had kids, but not together.
right.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So her daughter is my daughter.
Gotcha.
You know
I
what I'm
understand what
saying?
you're saying. Yeah. Tremaine?
Well, I
And they all
am.
might be watching.
You kind of answered
He
this
already
already. Yeah, I'm sorry. You answered this already. I'm sorry.
He
You
gonna
answered
say
this.
it again.
Bam.
Right, he want me to repeat myself.
My bad.
Well, it's kind of different because me and my wife never had kids, and because we literally, I mean, like when we were even talking, we were always like, we're just selfish, and being selfish is we wanted to travel. We didn't want anything hindering us to have like try to find some babysitters and all that. So we were really selfish, and the thing that is. The question that you're asking is really one of the things that we asked each other that we had to actually think about before we actually got married, because I honestly wanted to know, like, okay, what do we want to do?
Right.
Because it's about us before we actually go into this relationship and have these kids. And so we decided that we were only going to have kids if it happened. And so it wasn't about like anything except if it happens, and that's what we're going to do, and we're going to work with that after that. So after the whole infidelity on my part, and I take onus of that, she was like, I can't believe that you would actually put our future in jeopardy like that, and which was fair to me, and which was fair to her, and for her to bring it to me like that, because we were just honestly that good friends. So it was never about sex. It was never about sex at all. And since it wasn't about sex, it was never really like just that thing.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. So I asked that question, and this is going to lead me to my next one, which is really the crux of this show. So a lot of people think that sex is the reason that men step outside of marriage, or that sex dwindles once you get married. And I've always argued that it's not necessarily about the marriage. I've always argued that it's about the kids. Once you all have kids, priorities shift.
Things change.
Things change. Where her mind and her body, because her body is now housed, children that are yours.
And you gotta have quiet sex all the time.
Well, any of that. But I'm just saying the priorities change, and you might not always be the priority, which means your sex life might suffer a little bit, and I think that's fair.
Can
I don't know.
She's stuttering.
Come on, what you got to say about that?
Okay, so Bam said something, and I'm going to take a leap out here that a lot of women who are watching have this thought, right? So I want to ask you, genuinely, was really the crux of this a level of selfishness?
Crux of what?
Of why he even did that. Why he cheated.
Why he cheated.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Was it a level, because even in the thing, right, in the clip, they talked about narcissism, they talked about selfishness, they talked about ego. If you just really thought, and I don't know how much you thought about it, how much you delved into what
About this a lot.
I don't know. I don't know.
I am that.
Are those the root of why
No,
you did it?
Honestly, it was because.
Why the fuck you step out, man? That's what Jamal wanted. That's Jamal. Like y'all ain't got to the point yet. We was coming to it, Jamal.
I literally stepped out because I was in a different place, and she wasn't there, and I had somebody there who was willing to pay attention to me. Real talk.
Okay.
So it's not about. Literally, seriously, in everything that I believe in love, it was because somebody else was there physically.
So would you say it was maybe some level of loneliness?
All day.
Okay.
All day, every day. But I still have to take the onus for that because I let that happen.
Oh no, you totally are to blame, but we like to try to get
Wait. First of all, I've already taken the blame. But at the same time, you ain't gotta say it like that because you make it sound like some bullshit.
Why you getting all upset? I'm just saying.
Because the way you said it sounds real crass, as opposed to I'm taking responsibility for what I did.
Welcome to your ITZ.
It's like,
Flip this shit.
Good luck.
What we do.
But no, I'm being serious, right? Because I'm gonna be real honest with y'all. Y'all kind of dancing around this, right?
Who is dancing?
Wait.
We have
Bam dancing.
So let's
dancing?
answer the question. You getting there? I'm not hating on this. I appreciate this so much. That's why I said let's talk about this. What is the root cause of this?
I can say mine was ego.
Ego?
Yeah, that young girl. I mean, your
I
whole
know
ego
for
we
me,
had
it was
separated.
distance.
So when you
I
say
was in
ego,
my
right?
mid-30s.
Let's dig into this, right?
Uh-huh.
You say it's ego. Was it that? I'm gonna say this poorly, but so kind
say
of just
it.
listen to what I'm saying. Was it that this young girl's interested in you, so it puffed your chest out a bit?
Yeah, I can say that.
Okay.
I can definitely say that. Yeah, ego. It was ego.
It was all ego.
It was all ego. All
You know
ego.
what? I'm going to venture a guess
Uh-huh.
that 75% of the time,
It's ego.
when men step out, it's ego driven.
I also think there is
can agree
something.
with that.
I know Bam's mad at me right now. Don't be mad at me.
Honestly, I'm not mad because the thing is, I didn't step out because of ego. I stepped out because it was proximity.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got
It's
you.
literally proximity.
And
for
I
me.
appreciate that. There's something to look at or examine there, right? That the separation and the loneliness, I don't want to say pushed you because that's not
no.
right, but
I feel
it
you.
led you to make that decision.
No,
there's something
it
to
gave me
examine
a
there.
chance to actually justify that shit for myself.
I like it. That's good. That's good.
It gave me a chance to justify that shit for myself. Because honestly, when I moved back out to Vegas, I was like, okay, when you coming? When you coming? Well, you know, I gotta do this. I gotta do that. Okay, all right. When you coming? And I'm going to work every day looking at this woman who's fine as May wine and that also giving me attention. Let's be realistic about this. Shit, you can only do so much.
I got it.
So,
I can attest to that whole.
Jerome, I'm passing to you in 2 seconds. But I just want to. No. I know you. No. I won't pass it to you. But I do want to say this, because the brothers are opening themselves up and bearing their souls, and I appreciate it. But as I do wanted to circle back to what your point was, Sean, I think that women often think that it's, as we've already dispelled, that it's about purely sex, which most of the time it isn't. There's generally some underlying rationale, reasoning, feelings. I won't even say rationale. Feelings behind why you made the move that you made.
Yeah.
Even if you know you're wrong, even if you know you're misstepping. There's a log in that fire that was, and I'm not blaming your partner because you made that decision. Clearly, you made that decision. You could have stepped away from that relationship and done something else, and you chose otherwise. So I'm not blaming, but there are things that happen in relationships that push isn't the right word, but that kind of puts you in a position to make this decision, and you make the wrong decision sometimes.
I think the way Bam said it speaks to the right. I'm gonna say it slightly different. It opens the door to make that decision, right? And the reason I asked the question is because, and I'm a generalize men for a second. Sometimes you guys have a way of saying things where it's not crystal clear what you're saying, right? You'll say, well, this happened and so, and you know what I mean? Let's circle drain this. Let's get to what the bottom line is. What drove you there, using language that makes it clear
The King James.
how
English.
you landed at that decision.
On you, Trey. Talk about it.
Okay. Well, like I said, my first marriage, like I said, it was partially sexual, but again, through the marriage, the children, and I was agreeing with Bam with the whole, unfortunately, the whole workplace relationship thing. I stepped out with a coworker, and
You generally mess with what's in close proximity.
I
Black on black crime.
Black
White
on
on
black
white
crime.
crime.
Yep.
You
And
rob and you
fucking
murder and you kill
bitches.
whoever
Yeah.
is close to you. And
Yeah.
it's usually fuck who's
Oh, that
next
bitch
to
is
you.
3 feet. I guess let me.
no.
No.
I mean,
Right.
yeah, okay, she was 3 feet, but she was a very attractive woman.
Okay, but how we get here? Like doing self-reflection. How'd you get here?
Just
Or there, not here. 'cause
I
you're not
think
there no more.
I think I can agree with my man to a certain degree. Ego, part of that, and another part was, I think it might be 3 parts. Part of it ego, part of it the sexual aspect, and I guess the third part would be just I wouldn't call it distance because we were together, but we had twins and
Emotional distance.
Emotional distance.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Perfect.
Okay. All
Yep.
right.
And I'll piggyback. I would say it's distance, the loneliness. We were separated. Me and my ex-wife at the time was separated. You know what I'm saying? So, it's ego, loneliness, distance, emotional.
I assume this leads you into your very next question.
Well, actually, funny you say that. So I was just about to ask, was it really about sex or was it an intimacy issue? And when I ask this question, and I say intimacy, it's not just about sex, right? It's not just about the physical contact. Was it an intimacy issue, meaning you and your partner at the time had some type of intimacy divide, emotionally, physically, sexually, intellectually, all of that, right? Like was there some split that kind of made you that was divisive in your relationship, that kind of made you walk the path you walked? And we can say, I know, Bam, you're very adamant and staunch to the fact that it was just a physical distance thing. But did that physical distance lead to other distances in your relationship?
I can honestly I can be honest about it and say that Melissa and I never really had any distances besides the physicality. She was always there for me. Like, she was worse than me. So, but
you got to be way more specific than that.
I was just about to ask, what do you mean?
You got to be way more specific.
Two thrown up? No, I ain't going to bring that back up.
Melissa, I mean, like, if you meet her, you would think that she's this meek person. But behind closed doors, that's why I chose to marry.
That was your other half.
That was me. That was throwing up on a person. She never threw up on me. But I'm saying, like, she was my other half for real. She was that person who was like, hey, I already know this. And everything that happened between us, and it's really like that. Like, she never, I mean, like, she is that person who I know if we would, once we got a divorce, because we had to actually, I mean, like, it was in a space where we were just not getting along together. We had to get a divorce, but we are still talking today. We still talking. We still have conversations, and she will call me. If she gets a win of this, she's gonna call me like, nigga, what the fuck you say? She's gonna cuss me out, and I'll be like, boo, did I say anything that was out of pocket?
Right.
She literally gonna be like, all right, yeah, okay, yeah, But at the same time, don't be putting my business out there. I don't even like.
Right.
I don't know who in Michigan is watching this shit.
I don't know why you just said her name either. You.
I don't. People that are like,
but look, y'all don't know her last name.
There it is. I'm just fucking with you. But no, I feel you.
So
this is what you're married to.
It's just that it's just. I mean, like, we just had a genuine connection, and so that was the thing.
So there was no emotional divide, or
no, there was never an emotional divide.
Gotcha.
Even when we got divorced, like it hurt both of us so much when when the papers came through, because both of us, we got married in Vegas and we got divorced in Vegas, and it was so like we were still living together when we got the papers.
Wow.
And she was like.
Yeah, papers. Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And she was like, open it. I was like, it's already open. So I opened it up and I'm like,
yeah.
So what we gonna do?
That's tough.
And literally she shrugged her shoulders because we were not ready to even leave each other's space.
Right. But not ready to be in that type of relationship anymore.
Oh no, we wouldn't be in that relationship at all. And at the same time, even when I was living in New York, she came from Detroit to help me move back to Chicago.
Yeah, our relationship is
that type of thing. So I'm saying, like,
I feel like y'all need to get married again.
Well, we've had this conversation. Tremaine, I'm so emotional
because we moving forward.
Emotionally.
Thank you, sir.
Divide.
Like I'm the only one thinking it. I'm pretty sure I'm
Every
not.
time I'll get ready to get asked a question.
He say some shit.
No, she said we should get married.
I know. I got you.
It's and hindsight is 20/20.
Of course.
True.
Looking back on it, in hindsight, it was not a divide. The ego part maybe made me think it was a divide because it was again, hindsight, looking back, it was understandable divide. There were adulting things that had to be done. We had to be grown. We had to go to work every day. So yeah, looking back on it, I kind of but in real time, I would say that 3-part formula. But looking back, because I look back like, yeah, you was tripping.
I was on some bullshit.
I was like, no, I was on some bullshit. I can call my own bullshit. I was like, you could have sat your ass down.
But I think that
you was on some hot boy shit, and you was trying to be on some hot boy shit, and yeah.
And at the same time, Trey, I'm serious. Like, we can always point back to our stuff and say, like, damn, yeah, I was on some bullshit. That's why we can be in this place right now, and we can actually tell people, like, hey, this is what I was thinking at the time and shit.
Yeah, I mean,
been dumb and stupid at the time, but right now, I see now where I was.
You think back and a lot like Bam, me and my ex-wife, we have a great relationship. We did agree when we decided to split that we would revamp our relationship, and that relationship will be a business relationship, and our business was to raise our kids. That was it. That was all. And I look at our kids now, and they're beautiful. They get great grades.
Amazing. That's right.
Can't wait for them to go to college in August. So then they become a Bill and a Zelle payment. Right. I love them dearly. And, we've both lived on to live very fruitful and productive lives. She's good. I'm good. We all good. We one big blended family. So.
Sometimes that separation is needed, necessary, and healthy.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's my girl. I'm not gonna say no names.
That's right. What's up, cuz? Always cuz to me. Girl, always cuz to me. Juan, I want to swing this to you because you've said on several occasions on the night that was your soulmate. That was your soulmate. So I'm going to assume that you're going to tell me that
they'll piss off somebody tonight.
That's all right. Yeah, that's all right. But I mean, this is real conversation. So
a couple of people. Probably.
So you.
Well, goddamn. Okay.
So I'm going to assume, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that an emotional divide wasn't what broke you all up.
Well, it was because we were arguing. I was trying to keep the peace between my kid's mother and her. They did. So backstory. I grew up with my kid's mother. So we met when I was like 14, 15 years old, high school, college, even though I went to all boy, but through high school, off and on college into adulthood. Had 2 kids together after, graduating from college and, moving on professional. So something he said, or what Bam was saying, I can own my shit. I strung her along for years. I loved her, but I wasn't in love with her. So, I was still in the streets, chasing, you know what I mean? And I eventually found somebody, that spoke to me for what I wanted, and that I fell in love with and never had that conversation with my kid's mother. So, got married and when I say this,
can we put a pin on
this? It sounded like a yada yada yada, and then I got here.
I want a clarifying point.
Go ahead.
You said you never told your baby mama, and then you got married. Are you trying to say that you got married and never had a conversation with your baby mama that you would get married? You just showed up with a red one day.
So
you ain't shit.
But this you got to figure I was in my 20s.
I understand.
I'm in 30s, early 30s.
It's fine. It's still ain't shit.
But so the thing is, I told my kids and didn't tell her.
And then you compound it by having the kids.
Well, I wasn't. So you got to think about it.
I don't mean to laugh, but
I'm with you.
Thank you. Right.
I'm waiting.
Right. So,
As soon as you say something, we can help you on.
right.
Because it ain't looking good right now, my man.
So, wow.
I just had to
Anyway,
clarify, so I
thank you, yeah, appreciate that.
That's why she's here.
Right. So anyway,
Because y'all were yada ass right on.
I was gonna let it happen.
She definitely is.
I was gonna let the yada go.
So
right
we being
on.
honest. We being honest. You know, we putting it out there. So, and I say this because my kid's mother's beautiful, a beautiful person. Never none of the drama that people always talk about. None of that. When I got married, she turned into a totally different person, and I understood why, because that was my fault. So she took it out on the wife. You know what I'm saying? So, and it became a toxic situation, and the wife wanted me to handle it. I mean, like had that conversation.
You know what I'm about to ask.
But see, this is the problem. Though.
But did you handle it?
How you handle it?
So I did.
I need a drink on this one.
So I did. That's why we ended up getting divorced and separating. Well, that's why
you didn't manage it
we
properly.
probably wouldn't have got divorced except for that last situation,
Right.
because we were trying to work through it. But that's why we ended up separating and was talking about getting divorced.
Because you didn't manage
because
it.
I didn't manage it.
Okay.
Manage the situation. Because I understood my kid's mother was she was hurt.
She's stupid.
She was hurt. And I understood why she was hurt. So I'm trying to.
Because you was a coward.
At that time, I was. At that time, I was. We being honest.
I thought that's what I was here for.
Yeah.
No, I can do this shit too.
So I'm trying to keep
Real
the peace
talk.
between the two. I'm really trying to keep the peace and trying to.
I ain't gonna derail the conversation by
Yeah.
asking a question that really had nothing to do with you cheating. Because my next question would be,
Yes, you
how
do.
the
Yes,
fuck
you do. Yeah, you
do
definitely
you
need
think
to.
not saying shit is gonna keep the peace?
No. So
Especially when the kids know, they eventually go tell the shit.
well, they did tell her.
The kids. I didn't think the kids would tell.
But
I told my kids.
But
to get married,
again,
but I didn't.
but I didn't feel like I really owed her an explanation. We weren't together.
An explanation is different from
Or having a conversation. Well,
you didn't
I
feel
should
like
have
she
had a
needed an
conversation.
All the notification, bro. I mean,
Well,
Remember
Kids got a new stepmama. You might want to know what.
back then, hey, I was thinking differently, and I understand
I appreciate that.
I can understand,
right, we grow.
why it went left,
I appreciate
and so. Yeah, you grow from your experiences.
Right.
There's no handbook on being married.
You right.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And there's
so-
no handbook on
Right.
handling baby mama.
Right.
I'm buying that bitch.
Right.
Tomorrow.
There's no.
Actually,
I think I'm gonna write a book. I want to write. We need to get together on that.
Right.
you ain't right.
Your
False.
ass ain't
False.
right.
We need to get together on that.
No, we gonna co-op it.
You're not right.
No, not at all.
Can I write the forward?
There needs to be.
forward, but he cannot
There
write.
needs to be a book on
Yo,
marriage.
he could
'cause
just put
there's
his name on the back.
Hold on, first of all, I've been married
Oh,
25 years. Thank you very much.
Twice. Twice.
You gotta put them together. I'm saying. I didn't say it one stretch. I just said I've been married 25 years.
With you like that.
That's the biggest crock of shit I've ever heard in my
But
life.
I guess to
Talking
get back to
25
your
years
point,
collecting.
so it was more emotional for
Fair.
us. Me and my ex-wife. It was more of an emotional divide. She was hurting. And she sat me down a few times, and she was like, I need you to deal with this.
Straighten it out.
Straighten it out. But but it was just many factors, going
You
on
had
at the
a lot
time.
going on.
Yeah, it was so many factors going on.
How
at the time.
how's your relationship with them both now?
Don't have a relationship with my ex-wife. Beautiful relationship with my kid's mother. But I had a conversation with her before we got to the divorce part. I actually did sit down, had that whole emotional 2-hour conversation, And then after the divorce, we still had a conversation, just, letting her know. I did the whole apology and understood.
Yeah.
So one of the things for me, I guess, and this is why I probably felt like I didn't owe her an explanation. I was paying for everything. She lived in a house that I owned.
Wow.
She had every car she's ever had. I paid for. So I felt like I was paying for everything. So it's like,
So you feel like you owned her?
well, not my kids, because I wasn't sleeping with my kid's mother. So I didn't feel like I owned her. I just felt like she really had no reason to trip. I made sure she was straight.
She was taken care of, so she had no reason to question shit.
Right. I made sure she was straight.
That's what you said.
Right.
I made sure she was straight.
And there, ladies and gentlemen, is some man fucking logic. But
No,
I mean, and
no,
that was my logic. But that was my logic. That was my logic. That was my logic, though.
no, that way, goddamn it, it's gonna people like, well, she was bad for everything.
Okay, but that was my logic.
First of all,
Obviously, I'm generalizing.
Right.
I'm generalizing.
Yeah, I'm like,
But that was my
Obviously.
logic.
Hold on, slow down. Too many voices.
First of all, I don't want you to generalize and say that's man logic. You can say that's some
That's
my
people's
logic. That was
you
my
can't say
logic.
that that's
Yeah.
man's logic because
Right.
I don't think that way, and I am a man.
Oh,
Be
we know
clear.
how you think,
Be
brother.
clear. I'm generalizing. There's always going to be people who don't think
Yeah,
that
but
way.
At the same
Look at old
time,
Raven.
you
Look at
talk
old Raven.
about
There was
Raven.
there was a whole conversation before this show about how women don't apologize that I don't agree with, but I understand the need for the conversation. I understand why people think that way. But it's still a generalization. So all I'm saying is it is a
It's
generalization.
not a generalization that I'm talking about. I'm saying like it's not a man thing. It's a
Women can
person
feel that way
thing.
Some
too.
people think. I get it.
yeah. So
Women can-
I'm
if
saying
a
like you
woman
can't
makes
put that on men
substantial
because
more
women
amount
do
of
the
money
same
than men,
shit.
They can feel that
Women
kind
do
of
the
way.
same shit, so you can't just put that
Let
on
me ask
men.
this.
Yes.
Let me ask this. Let's get us back on track for a hot second. If you had to do it all over again, would you do it different?
Yep, sure would.
I was gonna say, what do you mean by do
And
it
by that,
all over
and by
again?
that I mean if you could go back in time and erase the infidelity, would you? And do you really think that would change the outcome of your relationship with your wife?
Oh, that's I like that second part.
So for me, I would definitely change that night. I don't know if it would have changed anything because we were still on that trying to figure out things, and I still was dealing with my kid's mother. So who knows? But I would have changed that night. I actually would have went home.
One night.
I actually would have went home.
That one night.
Yeah.
Would you have not fucked with the 14-year-old younger girl?
14-year-old.
14-year younger.
14 years younger.
14
Man,
years
watch
younger.
that.
That's why I
Be
said
clear.
the 14-year younger.
You started that.
He
man.
did.
Just be clear.
Would you have erased that?
25.
Right.
Would you
That's
have
the one
erased
that
that relationship altogether?
I don't know about that.
Spencer, say this feeling like a no to me.
I did no, but
Okay,
because
that's
we were
fair.
still separated. But I would have erased that night.
I got you.
Just would have did it the next night.
No, I would have took my butt home.
I'm just fucking with
I know you are. I know, but I would have took my butt home
I got you. That night.
that night.
But that relationship would have happened
you. Would it
regardless.
continue?
The relationship happened before that night
But
because me and my ex was separated.
But
at
you
the
all
time.
were together. You all were married. So my question is, would you have erased that relationship altogether? Because you said that was your soulmate, and that night was where you got caught. But if that relationship had never happened, there wouldn't have been that.
Wait,
night.
let's be clear. You're talking about the 14-year younger
14
woman.
years.
Okay, just want to be clear.
The,
on
the younger lady he was
Right.
fucking with.
That just sounds
I just want because he kept saying relationship. I was like, which
That was a
relationship?
relationship.
I know, but
Not your marriage. That was a relationship.
just being clear.
You need to shut up.
So I'm not even listening to him. So you would have wiped
Let's
that.
just say
You would have wiped
she
that.
was 25. Y'all stick to
the
25.
The younger lady you were dealing with.
Y'all stick to
Would you have wiped that relationship completely or just that night?
that night.
Okay, so you still would have
You would have continued.
stepped out of your marriage, even though separated.
We were
To be
separated.
okay, fair. I'm just asking. Jermaine,
Sir,
The question is,
please, yes, because this gentleman over here.
he's distracting you. I
Man.
already know.
Man.
trying to get him to like.
You had infidelity in your relationship.
Mhm.
Would you wipe that infidelity out if you had the opportunity? And would that have changed your marriage? Would the marriage have lasted if you wiped that out?
Do you want him to answer that for both marriages?
We'll say.
No, I'm not saying that. No.
We're going
Be
for the
clear.
body
Be
today.
clear. I was only asking. Hey, Claire.
So thank you for watching this episode of Business Zone Podcast. No.
I didn't mean it like that.
Yes, she did.
You talked about two marriages.
I have, yes.
So I was asking, was the question for both? Or are we focusing on one? That's the only
Whichever he
reason I
wants.
was asking.
Whichever he wants to answer.
Well,
Whichever he wants to answer.
Well, let's just focus on the first one.
Okay.
Jesus.
Let's do that. Let's just do that. Would I take it back? Like I said, hindsight's 20/20. So
True, fair.
looking at the stage we are all in our lives right now, nah, because we all, as a family, have all gone through things that have molded us into the men and women that we are right at this moment. So with that being said, would I, for self-gratification purposes, nah, I would let all the bullshit happen. But even though all the bullshit happened, a lot of good happened too.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't have joy without pain.
You're right.
You know, every day is not going to be rainbows and unicorns. And the things that we went through, not saying that they were good things per se. However, people came out on the other end better off than probably if things had been changed. Because people grew and people were able to experience new things and start new endeavors in lives and start bonds with other people that they love and hold true to their heart. And I'm extremely happy and grateful for that. And I would never take that back. Not from my kids or them.
I appreciate that. I love
Real
that
talk.
answer.
Bam.
Sir.
Oh, God. Here we go. And now it begins.
Hey, I'm gonna just tell y'all. The thing is, I don't have kids, so it's a totally different situation for me.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't change anything, literally, because even today, I still love my ex-wife like she is my best friend, for real. So it's not about that. But at the same time, since I don't have that, I'm going to call it collateral piece, I don't have that. And so the thing is, we get to talk and we don't have anything that's keeping us together except the fact that we just love each other and talk to each other. So it's a totally different situation than people who actually have kids. And that's a totally different situation.
Real talk.
And so where I am, it's way outside of what most people actually experience, because once you have a kid, you already got a emotional attachment forever. I don't get that, and she doesn't have that. So we talk and we have our fun. She is who she is, and I am who I am. So going back to the question is, like, we cool. We are literally those friends, and we get to have our friendship that way, and we don't have to do anything. In fact, we're thinking about, we're probably going to take a cruise soon.
Wow.
Just her.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Nah, stop.
So
Hey, trust me.
sweet.
Trust.
I know who you
Stop.
are. I know who you are.
Stop right there. So the thing is, we're probably going to take a cruise, but
Nice.
at the same time, it's about us just being in the same space, because we know that we were meant to be together, and at the same time, if she gets with somebody else, which probably ain't gonna happen, and if I get with somebody else, it's probably not gonna happen.
Why you ain't say what ain't gonna happen?
I said if I get with
Nigga, they going on
somebody
a fucking
else,
cruise. I'm with him.
if I get with somebody else,
Start playing
it's
the Backstreet
really
Park.
not going to be in that space where I'm going to be really into that, because I'm still going to be thinking about her, because she's always been there with me.
Are you all closer
That boy,
now?
that boy out here caking on this podcast.
absolutely is.
But he
You
asked.
fired out to Michigan.
I hope.
Boy,
I'm a.
guess
Wait,
what,
I
Bam?
got
I'm gonna
one
go buy
last-
you
I'ma sit in
next
this
week,
episode.
man.
Shit.
I got a
'Cause
question
I know
for
she ain't
Bam.
watching.
Are you all closer now than when you guys were married?
Not necessarily closer, but we talk. We used to talk more, like we talked every day, so we don't talk as much. But at the same time, when we talk about more things that are in depth.
Okay.
Let me ask you this, Chantel. You've been
Oh,
asking a
Jesus
lot of
Christ.
questions. I'm bringing you in the motherfucking
I'm not a man
conversation.
who cheats, so
Doesn't
I
matter.
don't know what I can
Well,
contribute.
I'm about to ask you about a man that might
First of all,
cheat.
you can't be a man
Have you ever dated
But that
a
don't
married
mean you
man?
can't
who
cheat.
cheats.
No, we're not
That
gonna
don't
ask
mean
that.
you
But you can be a
Hold on.
I'm being clear on the
You can be a
topic.
cheater.
Hold on.
Uh-huh.
If
I have been a cheater. I've always talked about that.
she's talking about on several cases.
I have.
If you were in a situation where your husband had an infidelity, is it forgivable? And would you figure out how to work through it?
Okay, so I need
That's
a bit of
real
I need
talk.
some
Okay,
notes,
so your
some
relationship
context.
your relationship has been rocky.
Okay.
maybe part of the reason he stepped out was because of that rockiness.
Okay.
But you do deep down. I don't think anybody in any marriage doesn't want it to work. You don't get married to say I'm gonna be divorced in 5 years. Nobody steps into it thinking that.
Yep.
I can't give you the exact scenario.
Well, no. The point I would need to understand is this: are we talking about you stepped out once, maybe twice?
You talking about some one night stand type shit?
Yeah, like
no.
Whatever,
He had a work wife, and they wound up having a little semi relationship.
And you had no
work wives are what's happened.
I would have a ton of questions, and if
would
you're
they
telling
start?
me what will my questions be?
Where would they start?
Well, first of all, I probably had to go not
The
talk to
reason-
him for like 2 weeks because I had to calm down.
The only reason that I asked that question is where did they start? Because I understand and I know where Melissa was coming from literally when she was like, what happened? And when she asked me that question, I didn't have an answer for her.
I think my first question
What would
would
your questions be?
My first question would be, what do you want to do? Like,
I want to be with you.
That's the answer.
okay,
that
you want to
gave.
be with me,
Mm-hmm.
So what's happening?
but you want to be with her.
No.
No.
I was with her, but I want to be with you.
I don't.
Right, see?
I would need
And
clarity.
then that's
But
when
see,
it
this
goes
is
left.
why. This is why you
That's
must
when it goes
ask
left.
clarifying
Okay,
questions.
I'm giving
You have to
that
ask,
is the
What
clarifying
what do you
question.
want to do? I want to be with you.
I want
First of
this
all, I'd say,
relationship
are
to work.
I'd be like, are you
I
sure?
need to figure this
Positive.
out
But I
with
would-
you.
I wouldn't be having
See-
this conversation if I didn't want to have it to work.
Exactly.
Because I disagree. I do
What?
think.
Go ahead.
I do think, not all the time, but I do think there are scenarios where people want to stay together out of ego and out of optics.
Obligation, optics, true.
So
Agreed.
I would be pressing because you need to want to be with me because you want to be with me, not because you don't want to be embarrassed and have to explain to people why we broke up.
Okay, so this person that you married in the first place,
Mhm.
you really gonna get to that place where you actually ask that question?
Hell yeah,
So
because I'm clear.
I can
People
see
do
that.
that.
I can see
So
that.
my point is,
I'm very clear
is,
people do
Melissa
that.
would never ask that question about me. I wanted to be with her, and I told
Bam.
her.
Okay.
bam, hold on.
So I'm saying, if you're bringing that to me, then I'm thinking that you ain't into this
So-
shit.
so-
Wait a minute, you
Oh,
cheated on me, and I
look, I
can't
think-
ask
Okay, exactly.
clarifying questions.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly. I'm bringing it right back to you.
Okay,
And
well,
to
that's
her-
why Bam and Chantel not together.
To her-
Her name is Melissa.
I understand, but my name's Chantel.
no, he
She was
go
being
ahead.
I
sarcastic.
understand
She's being
he's emotional.
sarcastic.
So to your point,
Uh-huh.
That's crazy as fuck.
I wanted to stay with my wife, and she wanted to stay with me.
I don't doubt
No,
that.
no, but I'm just saying.
Let
to your
it go,
point.
let it go.
So when we got divorced, the funny thing that was funny about that, my daughter, I don't want to say stepdaughter, my bonus daughter,
Mm-hmm.
teenager at this time, calls me 5 minutes after walking out and say, my mom didn't want a divorce.
And I do think people divorce
But the
out of ego and
but it wasn't.
optics too.
But the problem was we never talked.
Who is we?
Me and her.
Me and the ex-wife.
Me
Him and the
and
ex-wife,
ex-wife.
sorry.
We never talked.
Well,
So
I'm
neither
saying-
one
I'm
of
saying
us
like
wanted
we-
to get divorced, even though that situation had it.
Yeah.
The day of the divorce, and literally 5 minutes, I'm walking out. We hugged each other. She kissed me. She's crying. We walking out. I guess she calls her on the phone, tell her, everything's fine or whatever. She hits me 5 minutes later and says she did not want a divorce.
Yeah.
So it goes back to asking those questions.
You
Ask
have
those
to
questions.
ask those
You
questions.
gotta have
asking
those conversations.
questions, right? You gotta have those conversations.
You have to have those
I'm
hard
s-
questions.
Everybody doesn't think the same, brother.
And everybody doesn't have your relationship. So let me
Right.
let me frame this for you, B. Because I'm about to say you ain't telling no stories, and I ain't tell, I'm the host. I ain't supposed to tell stories,
Right.
I can tell some stories.
but B, shut your ass up.
I
Shut
can
your
tell
ass
some
up.
stories.
So B, you
I know where
were
the shovels
you were
is at.
there. That's because you helped me bury the motherfucker.
Exactly.
So B, you were there. You were there the night me and the ex broke up.
Yeah.
So, quick story. We were all out. Bam was with an ex-girlfriend. I was with my ex-wife, and we were having dinner. And I was really his ex-girlfriend is a really good friend of mine. So me and her are talking vibe, whatever. Bam has known my ex since high school because I've known me and my ex got together in high school. So they're over there talking vibe it. And the waiter comes over and she says, "You all are really cute couples. I can't believe I've seen you two just talking all night. It's so cute." And she's talking to me and my friend, and him and my ex,
Wow.
pointing those out as the two couples, because we were that divided. So we were supposed to go to the movies that night, and we get in the car, and I call B, and I'm like, y'all go ahead and go. And we go to the lake, and we sit down and talk, and honestly, this was a conversation. We were like, this isn't working, is it? And I was like, this isn't. But I say this to say that I would have never had that conversation because, and Tremaine knows this, is my brother, my first cousin, my blood. We come from families of divorce.
Facts.
And my intention, my goal, my whole semi-adult, because I was still in my early 30s, 20s, teens when we got together, was to never follow in the footsteps of my mom, his dad, our uncle, my grandmother, my grandfather, right? Like, we were going to break the family curse.
Cycle. You're going to break that cycle.
So I was in a very, they call it an Irish relationship, right? Like, I would have taken the slings and arrows of anything for us to stay together, no matter how fucked up we were. And we weren't fucked up, but we fell in love as kids and grew up to be different people, adults.
True. Fair.
So,
facts.
I think that when you raised this point, right? That you don't have these conversations, and these relationships are tenuous as they already are. And if you don't have these conversations, if you don't ask these questions, right? What are you really in? So I really appreciate that we had that conversation, that we had the forthrightness, that we had the maturity to come up front and say, you know what, we can stay in this and be miserable. I won't even call it miserable. Probably not miserable, but it wasn't toxic, but it wasn't working. And to have those conversations and be that vulnerable and upfront with somebody you love the way you do is a tough place to be.
Yeah.
Infidelity aside.
Yes. So that's why I would have those round of conversation. I'm a big believer in communication. Would I get a divorce? I cannot answer that question honestly because I would need to know a lot more context to be able to make that kind of decision. But what I would be willing to do is sit and have a conversation and make a game plan around it. If we are going to stay married, obviously it's going to be a whole lot of hoops you're going to have to jump through. Sorry, not sorry.
No.
To maintain it,
right?
right?
Those hoops.
Right?
That's only fair.
And I would need to understand what your plan is so far. You would have to go to therapy. We would have to be like completely transparent. Like it can't be the bullshit.
So let me ask you.
It's a lot of questions. It's a lot of questions.
You would have to go to therapy. Like
no, I'm sorry. I said we.
Part of the process.
That's why I said we.
You say you would have to go.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me backtrack. We need to go to therapy.
Thank you.
I am sorry.
Honestly, because that's what
we need to go to therapy because we would need to talk through some things.
Out.
He would have to get to the bottom of whatever led him through that door.
He would need to figure out it's all him. It's everybody else. It's not you, right? Are you serious?
I'm sorry, Bam. Did we fuck? I'm very confused. What's right now?
Bam is taking it very personal.
If we had a fuck, you wouldn't talk like that.
Big man.
What the fuck?
You keep putting on everybody else.
Hold on.
And all I'm saying is literally, I have to take everything that I did in my marriage as honestly for real.
And you earned that.
Okay,
you earned it. So
and at
I
the
don't
same
understand
time,
the
you
problem.
can't sit here and say that everything that is happening in your relationships is somebody else.
And be clear, I never said that. But if you tell him,
no, what you are saying is right now is somebody else. We need to do this. No, it was they need to do that. I'm serious. Listen to what you're saying. Run the tape back and you will see that you are saying that it's somebody else. It's not you.
Hold on.
And I'm not saying that it's you. But what I'm saying is you have to be realistic about this. Everybody is invested in a relationship.
That's true.
okay.
On both sides. Everything. So you can't keep saying and you can't keep putting it on somebody else.
Well, she corrected it. She did say
I said we.
She did say we. She changed it.
And unfortunately, Bam, in this scenario, I didn't cheat. He did.
She was
so
agreed.
He must be. I just let you have your whole big diatribe.
No, we're talking about in this scenario.
We're talking about
she
me.
was the agreed party.
We're talking about me.
She was the agreed party.
Maybe I missed it. I thought we were talking about me and the steps I would take.
Where you at?
So this is the monkey wrench thing.
Yes.
We had a game plan. We were going to therapy, and I still slept with her that night.
With the The
younger-
the side piece.
The side piece.
Dude, I don't know how she didn't throw knives at you, quite frankly.
Oh,
but-
she threw everything in the house. I mean, the place at me. She really did. She started taking pictures down, all types
So,
of
Dewan,
stuff.
what it sounds like to me, though, is it sounds like what you're saying is this was your soulmate, this everybody you wanted to be with, and blah, 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 blah. But the younger pussy, you couldn't stop fucking. So
Yeah, I
was
guess
this really your
that's-
soulmate, or does that just sound good?
No, I'm not. Seriously, dude, the funny thing, when I met her, it's one of those, and people, you rarely hear this, didn't know her, walked into the store and heard that voice, I'm going to marry her.
Mm-hmm.
Pursued her, like literally pursued her. We started dating maybe like 4 months after. 3 months into fucking, you laying in the bed, she's like, you want to marry me, don't you? And I did.
And you did.
But that apprehension was there because
Because of everything else you had going on.
everything else I had going on.
But what I'm hearing you say though
But-
is
but-
even though she was the one.
I had been drinking that night.
No.
She was drinking that night.
Come on with these excuses, goddammit.
I let her stay overnight. She got undressed. I mean, what you gonna do, brother? Come on.
Well, if you're trying to figure it out with your woman, not fuck. Or not have her there in the first place.
Oh. Didn't I say I shouldn't have had her there?
You
I
did.
did. I said that early on.
But here's and
That was my mistake.
Let me tell you something.
That was my
I am
mistake.
not
But
casting judgment.
Right. Yes, you are.
I'm not at all.
He cannot.
I'm not casting judgment.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that we spoke earlier about
Right.
the power of the PUSSY, and it wasn't the reason we stepped out. It wasn't the reason we continue to stepped out. It sounds like in this scenario,
You trying to blame the pussy.
it was the hook.
That should be talking to you, man.
It was talking that night. How about that?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You specified a couple of nights it was talking. that motherfucker's laughing.
They not talking yelling.
Hey, man, I done got into too many problems.
Oh, my God.
I already know.
We all have, bro. We all
Go, Shaq,
have.
what were you about to say?
I was about to say, Jake, you're sick of us.
No. I told Jake, let us go.
Honestly, you know
We go hour and 20. Yo, normal. We got a couple
Jake
more
is-
minutes.
Jake is
Jake, I love that. We're gonna pick Jake a little extra $2.
Yes, we are. All right, Jake, so you hanging out with us. So I don't lost my fucking train of thought. But ultimately, the point is, if we agree to stay together, we're going to make some steps together, bam,
Thank you for clarifying.
to figure it out. Is he going to take some slings and arrows? Absolutely, because I'm petty. But at the end of the day, if I commit that that's what I'm going to do, then we'll do it together.
Okay, that's fair. I can.
That's it.
I can rock
I think
with
that's
that.
fair. Tremaine, hold on. The
so-
bam,
Bam
hold
just
on.
wanna be
Hold on,
pissed.
Bam, ready to go.
Right, Bam,
Tremaine.
ready to
wanna be pissed.
I so boo, what time we call it? What time we call each other later?
I'm not competing with Michelle. I don't compete.
You can't compete with me.
I can't compete
That's
where I
the
don't
point.
compare.
That's the
I
point.
understand
That's
that.
the point. That's the point. That's the
I'm
point.
messing with you. I
So,
got you.
Go on, Tremaine. Go. You feel like you got something to say.
No. I think my man over here at Bam put out some very polar opposite objectives.
Polar opposite?
I mean, what you said and what my man said is like,
Keep going.
I mean,
bro, you was over there finna cry, man. I mean,
No. Y'all gotta realize that I don't have kids.
I understand that. But
Yeah,
if
but
you
man,
want
you
to
ain't-
borrow one, I got two.
We got
But
that.
bam, y'all are so deeply connected. You don't need the collateral for you all to have
Connection,
such a deep. Having the kids is it is
No,
what
no,
it
no.
is. But
They
y'all are like
expensive,
this.
man.
No. What I'm talking about is like literally, since I don't have kids, I don't have to do anything with her. So
Right. There's no day-to-day connection. I get you.
Yeah.
I get you.
But y'all
we
got
don't-
something so much deeper than children.
That's fair. That's fair. But at the same time, what I'm talking about at the on the upper level is, so what? We ain't talking about that. But at the same time, it's like, oh really? When she needs something, she will call me and she'll say, "Damn, I need this," and I'll be like, "Oh, let me see if I can work that out."
But that's my point. Like you don't.
That's kind of
It's
kinda
not.
it, though. Y'all
You
got
don't
something
have
deeper.
the obligation of children to support her. You are doing it fully and completely because that's what you want to do. That is so much deeper
That's the
than
key.
doing some shit because of some
because
children.
you got a kid in the mix and you feel
so
obligated.
much deeper.
You're not obligated. You're emotionally obligated, but you're not obligated.
I'm doing all right,
We're
bro.
gonna
But
let
at the
Tremaine
same
finish.
time, I can still say no.
Yeah, I mean you could say no matter
Bam
what,
just
but
took over.
that's not the point.
That's what he
Trey,
did.
what you got?
Yo, oh, shit, I forgot.
He was talking, dog. You been running.
Dr. Phil over there, the black version.
No, that was your fault. all, because you said he was crying and then he hopped in.
Well,
And
shit, he
that was
still
fine.
look like he crying.
Dude,
That nigga still ain't
no
crying.
tears coming down easy.
Anywho,
Oh my God. You were saying?
if the two individuals in a relationship decide they want to work it out, yeah, I feel that. Yeah, we're gonna have to take our lumps if it was us that did the adultery.
Yeah.
However, men ain't the only people that cheat.
No, if it was reversed.
Let's be clear on that.
First of all, we know if it was
That's
reversed.
not the show.
The most
But
men.
okay, I'm
You're
just
right.
saying.
No, you know what? I ain't even going down that lane.
That's
'cause
not
you're
the show.
absolutely
Okay,
right.
you're
That's
right.
not the
That
show.
is not the
That's
title
not
of the
the
show. However,
And we know we don't handle it as well.
He
so
just want to make sure we know women motherfucking cheat. Yes, we got it.
and y'all cheat better than we do, cause
they
y'all
don't. No. They don't.
get
They don't.
caught.
Well, that's a whole nother show.
Right,
They
that's
don't
a
cheat
whole
better.
nother show.
I
All
refuse. They do not cheat.
Well,
Anyway.
everybody ain't a Jedi master, my brother.
No. What I'm saying is, women cheat, and why we don't know they cheating?
Why you stuttering?
Because we thinking about the shit we can get into.
Damn straight.
Oh, you going to the Bahamas? Shit, we're gonna do where she go.
I'm gonna call false. I'm
We're
gonna
not
call
going. You're not calling false because
That's true.
Not
That
on
is
anything.
true.
Anyway,
Now you don't know.
nah, I don't know you. I don't know you.
But yeah, no, I mean,
Hang up.
right. Wrong number.
Wrong number.
And then you run into your girls, or your boy's girl at the fucking Bahamas.
Well, hold on. Wait till you get to the audience's question. Tamara, you got questions? I missed it, Tam. If you got a
Yeah.
question, I'm sorry. Repeat it.
Question, probably.
I'm sure it was 100 questions.
Are they good? Let's
But
see
are they
what
worth answering? Tam, if you got a question, I missed it. Please put it back in the chat. Go ahead. Jamal.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean,
I'm just listening.
it's gonna be stressful if y'all decide to work it out. I mean, understandably so, of course.
And on top of that, I would ask him, is he okay with whatever I'm about to put him through?
Nah.
See,
I mean, wait.
No,
That's a fair.
No, that's a fair question.
You all have to
But
listen.
the
Wait, stop.
The answer for
You
both
all
answers
have to
gonna be hell,
listen.
No, the answer's gonna be yes.
You have to listen.
Until the slings and
to
arrows
the
come my way.
question.
as long as
No,
the
I'm not
punishment
doing
fits
that
the crime.
I mean, I'm not gonna sit and like.
Punishment. Fit crime.
I mean,
I'm not going that far. But I'm also
clear.
clear that you don't have to deal with whatever my feelings are. I'm very clear about that. So I'm gonna tell you.
But I'm willing to work toward mending this relationship.
Without you
Does
being
it-
petty.
But not.
No. You
You ain't being realistic, brother.
No.
You ain't being realistic.
Which is why I would ask the question. I'm gonna be petty. Now I'm not gonna do anything egregious.
But
I'm a
there
petty.
is an acceptable amount of pettiness.
Okay.
And that's why you have the conversation.
Unless
Okay,
you're going
but you know, you
overboard.
can't get like elusive with it.
I-
Like,
nigga, I just
bro,
said I'm
you got
not gonna
a body
be-
of beings.
I just said I'm not gonna be egregious.
Let me
But
say
I
this.
know you.
Man,
and
let me
you
say this.
would.
Let me say
I'm in a
this.
You know me
relationship.
before.
Let me say
I
this.
don't want to know you in a relationship.
Let me say this. Let me say this. Let me say this.
Wait, that's what I.
Let me say this. If you step out and your woman decides she wants to work it out, is agreeing to work it out, there's no limitation on how long or what mends that relationship.
Bullshit.
There's not. You can put it on it. You hold on, Bam. Let me rephrase that. You cannot agree to what it is, but you
Okay.
can't tell her what's going to make her and how long it's going to make her
That's
heal.
true.
If it's 20 years, it's 20 years. If it's 2 days, it's 2
Of
days.
course,
And it might not work for you, and you can step away.
Exactly.
But you cannot
I can walk
define.
And since I can walk away,
And
Okay,
wouldn't you
that's all I'm
appreciate
saying.
the
that's fair.
You
That's
can't
fair.
define it.
That's
When
the
you-
whole point. That's the whole point.
It-
Everybody gets options.
That's right. You
And
get your
that's
option.
why I would
That's right.
ask you up front.
And that's why
Are
I would
you
tell
cool
you
with
that
this
shit
or
ain't
not?
cool with me, and this is where we going. If you gonna go there, I'm telling you right now, I'm out the fucking door. So let's do this now, and we don't have to do this later.
Hold on, Bam. How's that fair though?
No, I didn't say it was fair. Dude.
It just is what it is.
Relationships are what
You
they
feel
are,
that type of
dog.
way
Alright.
putting your
It's
marriage
fine,
on
sir.
the line? I feel
That's
like they.
exactly.
Hold on,
I
wait.
will say I feel like they kind of answered this
First time
question.
you stepping home.
What? Basically, he's saying the
Oh.
first time you
Yeah, I see what you're
stepped
saying.
out of your marriage, did you feel any type of way putting your marriage on the line?
That's a good question.
Like, did you
didn't think
did
about
you
It was the
feel some
homebreakers
guilt?
part that threw me. Jamal, we don't need your pejoratives,
Did you
motherfucker.
feel guilt or anything like that? That's what he's
I
asking.
honestly didn't think that it was gonna go anywhere when I was in it.
Yeah, I don't think
I,
on the initial.
I'm just saying for me, I didn't think
Yeah.
it was going to go anywhere,
Mhm.
and so I didn't think that it was going to be anything. But when it became more than it was,
you
and
fucked.
then once my wife came to Vegas, that shit was all up. I was like, I'm fucked up. I knew I was fucked up. And literally when Melissa landed in Vegas, I was like, I'm already fucked up. And I knew I was
So you
fucked
felt
up.
the way.
Oh no! Yes. all day.
Tremaine?
Nah.
We're going to speed round these so we can get out of here.
On the initial, not so much, but like Bam said, as things progress, you don't ever think on the initial is going to manifest into something bigger than what it is. You just focus on what's going on in front of you. But as time progressed, yeah, my brother was fucked up in the game too.
One?
I didn't think about it, I don't think, initially. Because, again, we were separated.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't, like Bam, I wasn't thinking it was going to go anywhere. It wasn't like I was trying to have a relationship with this person. The crazy thing about it is, though, after I did get divorced, she ended, the younger lady.
25-year-old.
Yeah, came to work for me. She came to work, but she ended up working for me.
To make sure
You hired her, or she just happened to work at your job?
I hired her.
Why does your
you ain't shit, dog. I'm just gonna put this out here. You ain't goddamn.
messier?
But we were divorced. We were divorced. I hired her.
You invited smoke, bro.
Wait a minute.
You
Are you
invited all
telling
the
me
smoke.
after you got caught and divorced, you're still fucking?
He might as well keep her around at that point.
Yeah, I kept her around.
He might as well keep her around at that point. What do you got to
Now he
lose?
pay her.
He might as well get to lose. Right.
She had a job.
Legally.
She had a real job.
that I supplied. God damn.
He paid taxes on
Hold
that.
on.
He paid taxes, right.
He got a write-off for that.
I hope she was a write-off. I swear to God.
She was.
So why do you have multiple of women to cheat with? So I guess our question is, I didn't hear any guys up here
Yeah,
say
I didn't
this.
hear them say that.
No.
Did you cheat with multiple women when you stepped out?
No.
Nobody's saying yes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah!
Okay, well then, why did you have multiples?
Available. I was in a place where my wife was
He was in
somewhere
Vegas.
else.
Yeah.
Okay.
He in Vegas.
He was in Vegas, right? He was in
And
Vegas.
the Vegas part probably
fucking
does
Vegas.
not help at all.
Oh, trust me.
Women everywhere.
How can you say how
No, we
much?
we can answer
Oh.
that question. Well, Jamal had another question.
I can't even get all his damn questions.
There you go. Did wifey get even before y'all called a quiz? Good. That was one of my questions we didn't get to.
Okay, so that's fair because the thing is, no.
To your knowledge.
She literally just like, we need to end this because she wouldn't do that to me. She felt so much for me that she wouldn't do that.
Okay. Why? Do you know?
I don't think she did. I really think she loved me. I think I fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
I really think she loved me. I don't think she stepped out. To this day.
Well, no, she said petty. I don't think it was.
No.
The wifey
No.
did-
We're not, I
sorry.
can't ask her Tamara's question.
Okay,
but
you're right. Even.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I really don't.
She did not get even.
All I can say is I cannot confirm or deny any knowledge of that woman sleeping with any other man. And that is the way I'm going to leave it because she knows people that is watching this show. Y'all ain't going to catch me up like that.
Okay.
But no, real talk. I don't know. If I had to...
If you had to venture a guess.
If I had to venture a
And
guess,
I think that she would tell me.
I'm not saying that shit, but
She would tell me just to have that vengeance.
it's just
if she was
it's not
to do
her
it.
MO. It's
Yeah, I don't think
it's
so.
just not her MO.
But that's not her.
I don't think.
I'm with you.
I think it's interesting because I think most men would put their hand up and say, "Nah, she didn't get no vengeance." However, social media streets would have a different answer. And most women say, "Yeah, goddamn right, I got my revenge, and he'll never ever know."
She probably.
I mean,
I'm
she
gonna do
could've.
another
I agree with that.
generalization.
She could have. I just don't
She
know.
probably did.
And you know what? If he'll never ever know, what's the fucking point?
Right.
Exactly.
I don't want
But
to know.
you'll know.
Right.
I don't want to know.
no.
I don't want to know.
You
I
know
don't
what?
want to
You
know.
know what?
We don't want
You
to
know
know.
what?
This
For her to
you
know-
say the women will know.
Yes, I
It's
will
your
know.
okay. It's your own piece.
Oh, then that's fine.
Bottom line
That
is,
shit like the
she
Matrix.
knows
Ignorance
who
is
gives a
bliss,
fuck if
goddammit.
she
I don't
knows.
want to know. Nah.
We
If the
don't
tables
wanna
were turned, how would you have felt based on the underlying infidelity? So the question is, tables turned,
That's a
she
bad
cheated
question.
on you.
You can stop.
That's a
I'll
bad
wait.
question.
Because you ready to go.
I'll wait.
No. She want to hear this answer.
Yes.
How would you have felt? Why is it a bad
The
question?
reason I say it's a bad question is because I'm already in that place where I already have a position on it. So the thing is, to put me in the other side of it is to say like, oh, now I have to think about,
Yes.
what would that person have been? No, my point is, no, I'm not going to do that because I already have this position.
No. Then you don't want to answer the question.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay, what to say that? I plead the fifth. All right, got you. One.
So I'm gonna go back to what you were saying. We can't handle that. So she'd be gone. I'd be done. There's no. I could not phantom my wife sleeping with another person.
Wow,
Not even a
James.
phantom?
Not even a phantom. couldn't do it, brother.
I was
couldn't.
gonna let
You
that
mean
go.
fathom?
I couldn't. You know what I mean? You know, I know what
Fathom.
you meant. You know the fathom. I know what
I
he
knew
meant.
what you meant. I knew what you meant.
Yeah,
My
but
bad.
you know, I couldn't.
Really?
You couldn't even.
I know.
Yeah, that's what we do. That's what we do. Hey,
But yeah,
so
I
you
can
out.
do it.
One misstep done. No conversation. No coming
can
back.
talk. We
Really?
I couldn't talk about that.
That's that man's truth.
That's how the man feels.
I couldn't.
I mean,
I couldn't.
No,
You in the same world?
no,
Tremaine?
that's not what I said. If I'm out here, I'll have to be a realist, all bullshit aside. And not that I've been put in a position that I've known 100% that there's been infidelity from the female side. But in theory, if I'm doing dirt, how I'm going to be mad that they do dirt, but I'm still a nigga. And, you know, I got nigga tendencies.
Really?
I couldn't do it.
Shut up, Bam.
I generalized a little while ago. Y'all
relax.
jumped down my throat.
Relax.
We generalized.
Yeah.
It's
Relax.
fine.
But no, I said I. I
said
did.
I.
No,
He's
I
very
said
specific.
I.
He's very
I'm
specific.
using myself as an example. So I would have. It will be like a internal war. Part of me, like, I be trying to keep the hawk at bay, but he might come out every now and then I have to put him back in, and then act like I got some sense. But
would you want to
Yeah.
keep doing that though? Would you want to keep tearing yourself apart?
but see it
We asked them to do it.
that, and also
Oh
if
my
you
But
are,
we're cut from a
God.
different cloth, and I get what you're saying.
No,
but if you
Are we
are
really
vested,
cut from a different cloth?
She ready to go. She ready to go.
Hey,
She ready to
you know
go.
what? You know what? I'm
that.
about to be on the women's side. Are we really cut from a different cloth, or are we using that shit as an excuse?
Bam is reading my mind.
Okay. All right.
Because the thing is, if you're gonna say that, when they step out, then you have to be willing to accept the
Why
shit
you
that
gotta be
comes
willing to
with it.
accept it? Explain
I
that.
mean, you
Because
don't
it
have
said they gotta accept your shit.
That don't mean I gotta accept her shit.
No, you don't.
You don't have
Walk.
to. Always not.
You don't
Walk.
have to do it.
Then you walk.
Right.
Okay.
I didn't say she
Most
had
of
to
the times
stay.
they don't walk.
But you hope she stays.
I would hope, but I didn't say she
She
had
has
to
to.
stay.
I got you.
I'm not saying nobody has to deal with anybody's bullshit.
Real talk.
No, it's fair.
I just said I could not do it.
Okay.
Really?
enough.
So you gonna put your shit
Fair
out there, but when they come with their shit,
Lakeisha, I
can't
see you.
deal
You
with
shut up,
I
Lakeisha.
said I
God damn
could
it,
not
man!
do
Let that man have his.
That's how he feels. That's how he
Let him
feels.
have his feelings.
That's how he feels.
Hey,
All right, team.
Hey,
All right,
hey,
team.
hey, bro, I'm with you. I got your back.
Now
I'm just
we-
trying to tell you. That
Right.
shit is
So
fucked
hold
up,
on.
dog.
So our producer was trying to wrap us up 20 minutes ago. And we forced him to let us keep rolling. We are actually 5 minutes over official time.
Okay.
So I do want to wrap this up.
You in trouble.
I
gotta
really
pay that.
appreciate. We're gonna pay that man extra. Don't worry about that. We are officially over time, but I do want to give everybody one more minute to have final thoughts around the subject, and let me frame it so we can keep it in a box. So the topic of this conversation was: why will you have infidelity, and did it play a part in your divorce? I think we kind of answered that question.
True, fair.
My ending question is, and we've already kind of asked if you could do it differently, would you do it different, blah, 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 blah. Do you live with any regrets?
You mean now?
Right now,
Okay.
today. Do you live with regrets? Some people have accepted it and said, I fucked up, I moved on, no regrets, it was what it was. And some people harbor, I fucked up. Do you have regrets?
I hear that. I don't have regrets in the way that you just said it.
Mhm.
But what I do have a problem with is the fact that my ex-wife literally is the person that should not have been a part of that piece that I did. And that's fair for me.
This is the piece I'm talking
That's fair for me because she would literally say like, damn, you know, Ben was my heart, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And so I get it. And so that's my piece in that whole spare. And so honestly, and I know that she would tell you today. I mean, like if you, shit. I mean, if I put you on the phone with her, she'd be like, Yeah, he fucked up. He know he fucked up. That would be what it is, and that's just what it is. So, I respect Melissa so much, and I love her, and I know that she would always be there for me.
Do you regret it?
Yeah, no.
I do not regret it because at the time that I was doing that, when I was fucking up, it wasn't her, it was me. And honestly, I was gonna marry that chick who I was fucking around with.
This is a
Wait,
whole other
goddamn it!
wrinkle.
Why are you dropping that bomb at the end?
Now.
of the
God damn.
So we need to come back for that.
Jake, we need another 10 minutes.
Wait a goddamn.
God damn. That's the show. Man, we'll have another show on that. Tremaine,
Yes, sir.
living with any regrets?
Damn, Bam, that was deep, bro. To piggyback off my answer,
I got motherfuckers that I have never seen watch this show commenting right now.
Tony just commented.
I know he watches every week, but the fact he commented is
That's
press.
fucking
Go ahead,
commented.
Tremaine.
Yeah, no. To kind of, like I said, to go off to my previous answer, I do not have any regrets.
Okay.
Because I think of the person I was then, and I look at the person I am now, and the strength of our blended family is so much more stronger. There are influences in each of our lives that have bled down into our kids' lives, and they made, everybody got better.
Tremaine, that's deep, bro. Go on, keep going.
I mean, everybody has gotten better. So, you live and learn. The path we're on ain't necessarily paved with gold. It's gonna have some potholes. Just the shy shit, And you take them lumps, you fall down, you get the fuck back up. Hey, what T.I. say? When you in the ring with the belt looking around, as soon as you fall down, all them haters passing judgment. Fly as I am, I'm gonna rise above it. However, that being said, you gotta go through them lumps. You gotta be able to fall down.
So,
And then once you get back up, you stronger than you were when you got knocked on your ass. Real talk. So,
Okay, brother.
Hey.
Damn, Dewan, you gotta follow up that.
That
That motherfucker had the rap Gandhi
I
coming
know,
up.
man.
Come on.
Sheesh. I've accepted it and I've moved on. I do regret that I put both of them in that situation.
that's fair.
But I've grown. Like you said, I've learned from it. Wish I could change some things with regards to that, because to see somebody hurt like that, that's it took a lot.
Yeah.
It took a lot, to really understand her pain and have those conversations. So, yeah. But other than that, moving forward.
That's all we can do.
Yeah.
Sean, not that you answering this question, but
What he doing over there?
everybody looked over. I was scared to look. I was
Ain't
scared to
nothing
look.
going on.
I sound like he's peeing in a cup. I swear to God. I swear to God, it sound like he's peeing in a cup.
Damn.
Y'all like, for real? Like, what the fuck?
Sean, final thought.
Nothing.
That totally fucked my brain up.
I've been doing that whole
Because we all thought the same
I don't
thing.
know.
We all thought the same
did.
thing.
Everybody on the same bullshit. That's what it is.
What I want us to do is say thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you gentlemen coming up here and being vulnerable and being honest about what happened. Divulging way more information than I was expecting. So kudos and shout outs to y'all. Like I told you all when you got here, I expected people to be on the screen in black with their voices covered. So I'm mad respect for y'all for coming out here.
I never got that option,
owning
by the
your
way.
shit.
Never got
Owning
that
your
option.
shit. I don't really know I don't know how I'm supposed to end this. I don't.
No.
I just all I can do is appreciate you guys and appreciate Bam for the verbal joust as well.
I will.
Way to use your big words.
we get to have fun. Baby with us.
I will wrap it up with this. I will echo these sentiments when I put this conversation out last week, in the last week's show, and then promoted it on the social medias. A lot of ladies hit me up and were like, "These brothers not gonna be honest. Nobody's gonna come on here and have this conversation. Yeah, this is bullshit. Nobody's gonna come out here and expose themselves like that." So I appreciate you all being live nerve endings. I know this can be a touchy subject. I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate your openness. The reason I invited you all is I knew you would be. Folks misstep. and folks have their rationales of why they did what they did many years ago. And we learn.
Say that bullshit.
What's that? We need the women
need
that
the
are
women's version of
Nah, Jeff, we can do that. And you can be my co-hoster. There are.
That shit gonna be hot as hell.
What about me?
We get your ass out
That
there.
shit gonna be hot as hell.
And I
Yeah.
can participate.
No,
I
you-
was
you
never
could be a
married.
guest.
Married.
I wasn't
Not
married.
married. Not married. Not married.
So the question is, why do women cheat?
We'll get there.
No.
So the thing,
We'll get there. No,
so
we'll
the
get
thing
there.
is, will they be honest?
They will. They will.
That's an interesting
Trust me.
question.
Trust me. I will find ladies that will be honest. But I do want
You
to.
know them sorors gonna be watching.
I will-
Y'all be getting real
Yeah, I
tight
will.
lips.
There, she's not so wrong.
For the ones that's gonna be on
Yeah,
the show.
that's all right. We don't worry about that. What I want to say is thank you guys for doing it. Thank you all for watching. I think a lot of the ladies that thought this show was
Who the
going to
hell
be.
say black women don't cheat though?
Don't play that shit. No attention. They just say that shit. I think the point of this show was really to kind of. I think women thought it was going to be a real finger point. You all are the reason I cheated. You wasn't fucking me like I wanted to be fucked. Blah blah blah. As you can see, based on the panel of men that have answered these questions that came on tonight, it's really not about that. A lot of times it's about distance, emotionally, physically, actual distance. And while the men regret the steps or what happened, there were some mitigating factors that played into it. Sometimes it was immaturity. Sometimes there were other relationship issues. Sometimes there was just actual physical distance. But these brothers really owned that they made that mistake, and it wasn't really about you. And I think a lot of ladies thought there was going to be some finger pointing about it being you. So I appreciate the brothers being honest and vulnerable and open and owning our shit. People fuck up, and people make mistakes in life, and everybody makes their mistakes in life. There might not be stepping out of a relationship. It might not be infidelity, but everybody makes their missteps. And the point that all of these brothers said was we learned and we lived and we loved and we kept it moving and we were better the next time around, hopefully. So thank you all for watching. We appreciate you. Next episode, End Zone Podcast, by the way, we are going to do Chantel don't know this. I just spring shit on Chantel. We're going to do a Denzel. We haven't done a draft in a long time. You know, it's one of my favorite things to do. We're going to do a Denzel Washington movie draft. I got all my boys. I got Ced. I got Dennis. I got motherfucking who is my third member? The original crew. Ced, Focus, Dave, me, Chantel. We're gonna do a Denzel Washington movie draft. We got categories.
If you know me, this is not gonna be fun for me.
Then we gonna kick Chantel out. Chantel can sit her ass out. Me and the fellas gonna do a draft about Denzel's Washington best movies. Oh, it's getting drafted. So
I just
anyway,
think he's
have a good
mad.
night. Love y'all. See you next week in His Own Podcast.